Hello everybody and welcome into the RNGIDP channel. Back with you for a new game day here on the 2015 randomized NUS League that I have going. Yes, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, my name is Craig and I'm happy to have you here. What I've done is taken the 2015 Strat-O-Matic baseball rosters and I've randomized them, mixed them all up, put them into new teams, and madness has ensued. All the teams are different, so therefore I made them new team names because, you know, if there's no remaining players from the original teams, I thought might as well give them new names, new identities, and so here they are. We have passed the threshold of the halfway point of this league. There are 30 game days. We are past game day 15 and upon game day 16. Some interesting things from the first half of the season. If you click on any of the links below, I have all the standings, the cup bracket, which we'll get to in a second, the stats for both leagues, and the probables and injured players for the current game day. But I want to talk about the standings for just 1 minute. If we look at the KL, and if you want to follow along, go ahead and click that link. It'll take you to my Twitter page, RNGIDP_strat, where I've posted all this information. But if you click on each one of those links in the description, it'll just take you to that individual picture. So in the KL, the Kanto League, which is the NL analog, Pittsburgh continues to lead the league. They sit at 11th and 3. However, Milwaukee has crept up into a tie in wins at 11 and 3 as well. And you'll notice that I separate the teams based on win percentage, then wins, and run differential. So Milwaukee, their run differential is not as good as Pittsburgh, so they sit in second, although they beat Pittsburgh in the last game day 12-7. So Milwaukee is looking pretty good, and they have reached a tie with Pittsburgh atop those standings. Hello, Jerry Ball. We're just going through a little bit of the standings, how it looks through the season here. St. Louis in third, Atlanta in fourth. Both of those teams are 9 and 5, 2 games back of the leaders. Then we move down to the 8 and 6 teams. You've got Chicago and Arizona, both tied at 8 and 6. Chicago has a 13 run differential, so they're ahead in 5th. And then there's 3 teams, including one of the ones we're going to see tonight, with 500 records, 7 and 7. Washington, Los Angeles, and San Diego. All 3 teams have taken different paths to get there. Washington are tied for the hottest team in the KL right now. They've won 3 in a row, come from the basement, and they have reached 7 and 7 and 7th place now in the KL. Below them, we'll see New York, Miami, both at 6 and 8. San Francisco and Colorado. Colorado's moved out of the 14th spot. They've been there for a long time, but San Francisco and Colorado are both 5 and 9 and 12 and 13 respectively. Philadelphia drops to 14th at 4 and 10, and Cincinnati continues to be in the basement of the KL at 2 and 12. That's how we go again here in the KL halfway through. And we've got some more people joining us here tonight. Ken and Jerry are in the live chat. Welcome. Hey, how you doing? We have some more late night strat coming your way. And looking forward to it on the new game day. Tonight we will see Atlanta against Washington. Atlanta, as I mentioned, is 9 and 5. Washington comes in 7 and 7. We've got a good pitching matchup, and it just so happens that game day 16 is kind of where all the number 1 starters in the rotation are hitting. And if you look at some of the matchups from the probables and injuries page, we're going to see Strasburg versus Richards, Shelby Miller versus Jordan Zimmerman in the next game. Colin McHugh against Trevor Bauer. Corey Kluber against Jake Arrieta. Edison Volquez against Chris Archer. Garrett Cole against Francisco Liriano. And that's just in the KL. That's it's going to be a fun game day, and I hope you enjoy it as well. If you take a quick look at the batting leaders and pitching leaders, you probably can't see this very well, but the link is down below in the description. The batting average leader for the KL is DJ LeMahieu at 452 through 16 games. Through 15 games, excuse me. LeMahieu, he was way ahead of everybody, but Kendrys Morales has creeped up on him. He's hitting 449, and then Ryan Howard from St. Louis is at a clean 400. So the batting title should be a fun one down the stretch. LeMahieu leads the league in hits. Ender Enciarte, who we will see tonight for Washington, leads in at-bats. Doubles, it's Ryan Howard at 8. Triples, David Peralta has 5 through 15 team games. It's crazy. Home runs, Giancarlo Stanton for San Francisco has 7. There's a couple of guys tied at 5. RBIs, it's Kendrys Morales with 22 runs batted in 15 games. That's pretty crazy. Stolen bases, D. Gordon doing his thing. He's got 12. And LeMahieu shows up on that as well at 9. For the pitchers, nobody's really stood out so far yet and broken away from the pack. But we'll see a good one tonight in Steven Strasburg. And he's got 26 strikeouts on the season. He might be able to overtake Matt Harvey here. So, that's a quick look at the standings. For more information, you can just go to the pictures and check that stuff out yourself. I'll go through it as we hit these games and give you some of the important stats as we go through. Al Red Sox fan is here. Hello, Al Red Sox fan. Just finished up watching his video, his live stream, which is what inspired my question of the day. We were kind of talking about it in his live chat. So I'll continue it here. You guys feel free to chat about it. What position did you play as a player growing up? I know that somebody had already answered. Jerry Ball was a center fielder. We could probably have a full team here. I was a catcher. Jerry Ball's a center fielder. All we need is a shortstop and a pitcher, and we're pretty much done there. We're not going to do the mini games tonight unless you guys really want to. I just feel like rolling a game tonight, so we'll do that to start the game day. Take a look at Garrett Richards for Washington as he enters the mound. Garrett Richards is 1-1 on the season. He's pitched in 17 innings, given up 15 hits, 5 earned runs, 14 strikeouts, and 10 walks. That's a big number for 17 innings, 10 walks. That's a 2.65 ERA and a 1.47 whip. This is a little rematch, actually, you could say. A rematch of the very first ball game that I did on the KL. Game 1 was Washington at Atlanta. And so here we are again. Garrett Richards and Steven Strasburg, they matched up on that day as well. Strasburg came out the victor. I think he went 6 2/3. And here's a rematch. So this will be the lineup for Atlanta tonight to face the pitcher Garrett Richards. So let me grab that 1 second. All right, here we go. Chase Headley will lead off and play here. Headley is just below the Mendoza line at 193. 11 hits and 57 at-bats. He's got a double and a homer and 4 RBI. 13 strikeouts for the guy, though. Nick Markakis moves into the number 2 spot, the right fielder. And I'm not sure what took so long for me to put him in the 2 spot, but here he is. Feels like a natural place in the order for him. He's hitting .345 with 4 doubles and a pair of homers, 7 driven in, and now Markakis hits in second. Mark Teixeira is the first baseman, the switch hitter, and he's hitting .189 with 4 bombs. He's in third. Marcelo Zuna moves to the cleanup spot, Osuna's hitting .232 with 5 extra base hits, including 2 homers. Troy Tulowitzki, Tulo, has been struggling at the plate, but we got to keep running him out there. His glove is worth it at least. A 148 with a double, 2 doubles and a homer, but only 1 RBI for Tulo. Chase Utley is the veteran lefty playing second base. Utley is hitting 176 with 5 extra base hits, though, 3 doubles and 2 homers, and 8 driven in, which is the team lead. Chase Utley, run-producing machine. Jackie Bradley Jr. is the left fielder in the 7th spot in the order. Jackie Bradley Jr. is hitting .205 with a double, a triple, and homers. 8 walks as well. He's been pretty patient behind the plate. Or at the plate, I should say. Martin Maldonado is the catcher, rounding out in the 8th spot. He's hitting 159 with a pair of doubles. And the pitcher is Steven Strasburg. He's a weak-hitting right-handed batter who will be using the number 1 pitcher's batting card. All right, so we are ready to roll, I think, finally. Garrett Richards against Chase Headley. Al Red Sox fan was a first baseman. Yeah, we could do that. Al Red Sox fan is our roaming infielder. We got a catcher. We got a center fielder. We've got a roaming infielder. Now all we need is a pitcher. Ken, were you a pitcher? No, he was a second baseman. So we've got the infield taken care of. We just need somebody to chuck the ball. Chase Utley ready to roll here. Atlanta against Garrett Richards. Game day 16 is underway. And it will start with a strikeout. Chase Headley gets caught looking to lead off the ball game. And we are underway. Chase Headley, I believe he's a Colorado native. I think he's from Golden or somewhere around there, where they make the Coors beer. Garrett Richards now to face Nick Markakis, the lefty. It's a 3-11. And this one is dribbled to first base, and that'll be Edwin Encarnacion at the bag. He tosses it to Richards, and there's 2 quickly away here. This one could be a low-scoring affair. That game in game day 1 was a 3-2 ball game. Strasburg didn't give up any runs. The bullpen got tagged for a pair. 4-6. One is a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts in the inning, both of them looking for Garrett Richards. And he sits down the top of the Atlanta order in order. And we move to the bottom of the first. Steven Strasburg. Ken, have you been to Golden? He's saying nice city, Golden is. It is a nice city. And Steven Strasburg, let's take a look at his numbers on the season. Pitching for Atlanta against Washington. I'm going to have to try and not mess that up. Strasburg has gone 19 innings. He's got a 1-1 record. 16 hits in those 19 innings. Only 5 earned runs. 26 strikeouts he's piled up as compared to 1 walk. A 26-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. A 2.37 ERA and a whip under 1 at .89. So Strasburg has been pretty good. And he will face the lineup for Washington that looks a little something like this. Ender Inciarte leads it off. Ender Inciarte, I like saying that name. It's hitting .364 with a pair of doubles, a pair of triples. He muscled one up and got one out over the wall. He's got 9 ribbies from the leadoff spot and 7 stolen bases. Jason Kipnis is the second baseman. Kipnis hasn't fared as well. He's hitting .241. He does have 5 doubles, though, and 5 RBI. Carlos Correa is the shortstop. Correa is hitting .259 with 7 doubles, a triple, and a homer. Edwin Encarnacion is the first baseman today. Encarnacion and Anthony Rizzo have been sharing time, but Encarnacion has gotten more at-bats recently, more starts, because Rizzo is off to a 10-for-48 start at the dish, 208 average. So Encarnacion is 4 for 13 in his time there with a homer and 5 RBI, so he's getting the start again. Curtis Granderson is the center fielder. He's hitting, just a $136 with 1 extra base hit, a homer. But he's in the 5th spot. Salvador Perez is the catcher. Sal Perez is a 145 hitter with 3 doubles and a homer. Miguel Sano is the 3rd baseman. Sano is actually hitting pretty well and probably should have moved up in the order. The 3rd baseman is hitting .320 with 5 doubles and 3 homers. He's been hot recently, too. Jeff Francoeur is the right fielder in the 8th spot. .268 for him with a pair of doubles. And Richards will hit for himself here in the KL, as all pitchers do. He's a number 1 weak-hitting right-handed batter. So we are ready to roll here in the bottom of the 1st. No score from Washington as we are ready to roll. Jerry Ball's been to Colorado Springs, was there in 1994 playing a World Finals softball tournament. That's cool. Colorado Springs is, it's got a lot of beautiful views up close to the mountains there and lots of fun stuff. Ender Enciarte to face Steven Strasburg. It's a 4-5, and that'll be a bouncer over to Tulowitzki. Tulo is a shortstop number 2. A 2-5. Tulo goes deep into the hole, has a tough play against the speedy Ender Enciarte, but he's going to make the strong throw, and he will get his man. Enciarte runs well. Tulo had to go deep for it, made a strong throw. It bounced once, and the scoop by Teixeira gets Enciarte by a step. Jason Kipnis is the man at the bat. It's a 4-5. That's another chance for Tulo. And this is the 8. That will go to a E rating. A 2-8. It will. Let me grab his E rating. It's a 12. So an E12. We rolled an 8. 8-8. We roll a 12 or E12. So Tulo, ranging the other way this time, up the middle, he makes a diving stop and pops up and fires it across. And Teixeira with the stretch. And there's 2 outs. Ken Castro saying Red Rocks is cool as well. Yeah, it is. Red Rocks is a nice place, but it's very packed up there. Any kind of concert you want to go to at Red Rocks, and it is jam-packed. And the parking situation at Red Rocks is, it is not great. Carlos Correa now, 2 outs, nobody on against Strasburg. It's a 2-11, and Carlos Correa gives it a ride. It is up, and a 1-5, and it'll be gone. It's a 3, so Carlos Correa takes one out for a home run. Strasburg left one up over the plate, down the middle of the plate, and Carlos Correa makes him pay for it. That's a 2-out home run from the power-hitting shortstop, Carlos Correa. And Washington jumps out to a 1-0 lead. So Correa rounds the bases. The home crowd goes wild, and now it's Edwin Encarnacion. That's a 3-11, and this one is hit well. Will this one get out for back-to-back jacks? And it's a 12, so this one dies out into left field, but he gave it a ride, and Jackie Bradley Jr. tracks it down out there for the 3rd out. However, Washington takes the 1-0 lead as Carlos Correa muscles one up and out of here on the ballpark home run chance. A 1-5. It's not a great park to hit homers in, but he rolled a 3 and jacked it. Marcell Ozuna will lead off for Atlanta. Jerry Ball, he's our resident fact checker for all things Arizona, saying Jason Kipnis is a Sun Devil. All right. I know who he'll be rooting for. Curtis Granderson. Marcell Ozuna will lead off here against Richards, who worked a clean first inning. Ozuna in his new spot, in the cleanup spot, he will lead off with a fly ball out to right field. Frenchie Francoeur will track it down, and there's one out. Now it's up to Troy Tulowitzki with one out here. It's a 1-8. This is a bouncer over to second, and the Sun Devil Kipnis, he'll track it down off a couple hops and fires it over to first. And Troy Tulowitzki is retired. Chase Utley now, 2 outs, nobody on. Garrett Richards in his zone to start the game, and he will strike out Utley. That's the third one on the ball game for for Richards, and he froze Utley with a pitch down in the zone. And Richards is clean through 2, pitching pretty well. And we move to the bottom of the second. It's Steven Strasburg, tagged for a homer from Carlos Correa, and he will face the 5, 6, 7 batters of Granderson, Perez, and Sano. This is Granderson, a 1-7. This is a single chance, 1-18, and that will sneak under the glove of the second baseman, Utley, and out into center field. That'll be a leadoff single for Curtis Granderson. Hope everyone is doing all right today. I definitely had a case of the Mondays at work today. Didn't feel like going into work. I'm expecting. I've gone a little crazy the last few days buying a few new board games. Our family, we are very into the tabletop board games. And I bought, I think it's 4 or 5 of them recently. And none of them have come in yet. And I keep watching the tracking app for FedEx and for USPS. One of them was supposed to be here tonight, and it never showed up. And so I'm a little disappointed. And that made me not want to be at work today because I wanted to come home and play it. But it wasn't, it didn't come anyway, so. All right, here we go. Salvador Perez. He is the catcher. He is not a great hit and runner. Curtis Granderson is a C-stealer. Let's check the catcher. Martin Maldonado is a -2 arm. They are going to Granderson. I probably should bunt or hit and run, but we're going to let Perez swing away. It's a 4-6, and Strasburg has his first strikeout as he freezes Perez on a big bender. And that's one out here. Miguel Sano is the third baseman. He is up here with 1 out. Granderson standing on first. He's got a moderate lead, but he's not going anywhere. It's a 2-9, and Miguel Sano swings over the top of one, and there's 2 outs. Back-to-back strikeouts after a leadoff single for Curtis Granderson. Jeff Francoeur now with the pitcher up. Strasburg looking to be a little careful with Francoeur, knowing the pitcher is up. It's a 3-8. Oh, maybe a little too careful. This one is right in Francoeur's sweet spot on the outside part of the plate. A 1-19, and this thing is out of here. And Francoeur goes opposite field, and that is a long shot. A 2-run homer with 2 outs. And that is the second home run that Strasburg has given up. This one from the unlikely candidate of Jeff Francoeur. He took that pitch. It was a fastball on the outside part of the plate and just went with it. And it kept going and going and going on out of here. Curtis Granderson, who looked like he had conceded to being stuck on first, he trots around the bases and he will score. And now it's a 3-0 ball game for Washington. So Strasburg struggling here early. Washington continuing to be hot. As I said before the game, they've won 3 in a row after they shut out Cincinnati. Well, who hasn't shut out Cincinnati? But Even so, they shut him out 7-0 in the last game, scored a bunch of runs, and now it's the pitcher, Garrett Richards. It's a 6-8, and Garrett Richards is going to have a hit here. He hits one out to the center field, and it's going to have to be cut off by Osuna before it gets to the wall. He does so, and Richards has himself a 2-out single. This is very un-Strasburg-like here tonight. Giving up 2 home runs already, 3 runs, and not even out of the second inning yet. And Ciarte, well, that'll stop the bleeding. And Ciarte gets a pitch on the outside part of the plate, and he's frozen. Can't even get the bat off his shoulder. And eventually, Strasburg strikes out the side. But Washington dents another one. And we move to the top of the third. It's a 3-0. Al Red Sox fan says another yard shot. Yeah, that one, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't expecting Jeff Francoeur to hit a home run against Strasburg tonight. I almost didn't start Francoeur. I started Justin Maxwell in the last game, and he hit pretty well. I thought about putting him out there again. I thought about putting Ben Paulson out there too, the left-hander against Strasburg, but good thing I didn't. Francoeur hits the homer. Jerry Ball. Did somebody say Coors? I wish I had a Coors right now, the old banquet beer. I could use one of those. Garrett Richards, though, here in the top of the third, will face the 7, 8, 9 batters of Jackie Bradley Jr., Martin Maldonado, and then the pitcher, Steven Strasburg. This is a 1-7, and Jackie Bradley Jr. draws a walk to lead off the top of the third. That'll be the first base runner that Richards has given up. And Martin Maldonado with the leadoff man aboard. It's a 1-8, and Maldonado goes down swinging. 4 strikeouts now for Richards. 1 out here in the top of the third. And it'll be up to Strasburg. Strasburg, what is he going to do? He is an A bunter. So are they gonna hold Jackie Bradley? He's a C stealer. So they're gonna bring infield in, but Strasburg is gonna bunt it anyway. That'll make him a B bunter. A B8 is gonna be a. So he gets one down the first base line. The first baseman picks it up, and his only play is going to have to be to throw it to the pitcher, Garrett Richards, covering at the bag. And so that will be a successful sacrifice, 3-1. So Bradley Jr. moves into scoring position off the sacrifice bunt from Strasburg. And Chase Headley gets his second chance at Garrett Richards. And this time with the runner out there looking to score. Headley struck out looking his first time up. And from the left-hand side, the switch hitter will strike out again. Get caught looking once more. That'll end the inning. Richards is struck out 5 through 3 innings. And we are done here in the top of the third. No doing for Atlanta on the scoreboard. It's a 3-0 ball game. D. Scott Howard, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Happy you're here. He says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to put the chickens to bed. Are those real chickens? Do you have chickens? Or are you talking about your children's? Actually, speaking of children's, I forgot to mention, I have a friend in real life, and he joined us. He stealthily joined me here last night. I'm not really sure how he found the channel, but he messaged me and he said, hey, I watched your stream last night. It was pretty good. Speaking of chickens, because he owns chickens, he actually has like 5 or 6 chickens and has fresh eggs and gives me eggs all the time. And So I want to say hello to my friend Noah. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and maybe you'll come back sometime. He is not a card and dice strat player, but maybe we opened his eyes last night with a little Strat-O-Matic baseball. So here we go to the bottom of the third. Strasburg to face Kipnis, Correa, and Encarnacion. Kipnis grounded out to Tulowitzki at short his first time up. And this one will be to the other side. This will be a bouncer to Utley at second. And that'll be an easy play for the Silver Fox Chase Utley. And he makes the play, 1 out. Carlos Correa had a homer in the first, a 2-out shot, a solo shot. And here he is to face Strasburg for the second time. And Strasburg gets his revenge. That's going to be a strikeout. 4th wood for Strasburg, and now there's 2 away. D. Scott Howard has very real chickens, 3 eggs tonight. All right. Well, welcome, D. Scott Howard. I would make a chicken pun, but I'm sure you hear them all the time. It's a 3-9 for Encarnacion, and he hits this one pretty well. A 1-7, and it'll be a home run. How far will this carry? It is a 7, and so Encarnacion. This is batting practice here against Strasburg. His 3rd home run given up. This one to Encarnacion. A solo shot here in the 3rd. So another 2-out home run. That's the 3rd one of the ball game. And Strasburg just wonders what he has to do to get out of the inning. This is a Strasburg to face Granderson now. A 3-5, and Granderson walks. So I wonder if Strasburg is just not feeling it tonight. Maybe he's got the flu that everybody has right now. I was sick twice this season. I even had to call off of work once. I can't believe I got it twice. Maybe Strasburg has a little bit of that tonight and just not feeling well. Here he is facing Salvador Perez, and this is going to get him out of the inning as Perez bounces one to Tulo. Tulo charges on it, has it on a hop, and will make the strong throw over across the diamond. And that will get Strasburg out of the inning. However, it's a 4-0 ball game as we move to the 4th. And let's see what's clucking in the live chat. Jerry saying, I don't know if I want to read that one, Jerry. You leave your neighbor's chicks alone. Garrett Richards to face the 2-3-4 batters of Markakis, Teixeira, and Ozuna. Richards is just cruising along here, watching Strasburg struggle, and just minding his own business and getting outs like this one. Markakis dribbles one over to short, and Correa tosses one over to first. Teixeira now, he will step in from the left-hand side. And this will be a single chance, 1-11. And, of course, it's a 12. This one's hit down to first base. Encarnacion fields his position, tosses it to Richards, and there's 2 away. Now Marcell Ozuna, he lifted one out to right field his first time up. And it's a 3-10. That one is bounced over to second. And the second baseman, Jason Kipnis, he will grab it and fire it over to first. And Richards is on cruise control, clean through 4. And we moved to the bottom of the 4th, and Strasburg limps back out to the mound with his tail between his legs. But he comes back out to face the 7, 8, 9 batters of Sano, Francoeur, and Richards. So this is a 4-10 for Sano, and look at all that black ink there. But Sano gets caught looking on a borderline call, but Strasburg gets it, and that'll be the first out here. My buddy Noah, he has, and D. Scott probably knows, what is it? Some kind of bearded something or other. American bearded chickens? Is that a thing? Or am I making that up? I might. Jeff Francoeur, who hit a 2-run homer last time, he is up with 1 out, nobody on. It's a ballpark single chance. Francoeur, this will be a 1-17, and he's got it. Sneaks past the shortstop, and that's a 2-hit ball game. 2 for 2. Jeff Francoeur now. Garrett Richards will be the batter, and Francoeur stay close to the bag. They're not holding him. It's 4-7. And Richards has a chance to make it 2 hits as well. He singled in the second inning. A 1-13, and it's a single, and it is. This one squeezes past the third baseman, Chase Headley. And Garrett Richards has a 2-hit ball game off of Steven Strasburg. So what is going on here with Strasburg? We may have to go get him. Let's see. Let me look at the bullpen. We've got 2 long relievers. We could get Jose Urena, and he starts to warm up. 1 out here. Runners on first and second, and it's the man Ender Enciarte at the plate. It's a 5-10. This is a ballpark single chance. A 1-11, and it'll get done. It's a 3, and so Ender Enciarte has himself a single. And we've got back-to-back-to-back singles. And that'll load the bases. Strasburg might be done here. His pitcher inning of weakness is the 5th. It's not even the 5th yet. Will he be able to get out of this jam? Kipnis is a pretty fast runner. It'll be tough to double up. They're going to... man, I don't know what to do here. If we should pull Strasburg or let him swing. They're going to give Strasburg the benefit of the doubt here and let him try and work out. The infield will come in with Jason Kipnis. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 2 groundouts. This one is a 3-9. And the one non-bolded result on that 3 is a 9. And so Kipnis strikes out swinging. That'll be the 2nd out, and that is a big one. Strasburg goes and gets a little extra and puts some mustard on it, and Kipnis can't catch up, and now there's 2 outs. So Carlos Correa now is up. He has a home run on the day, but there's 2 away. Bases full of Washington Natu players, and they're going to let Strasburg have another chance at Correa. He struck him out the last time he faced him, so here he goes. This is a 2. That looks good for Correa, right where he likes it. And this is a ballpark home run chance. So if we roll a 5 on this thing, it'll be a grand slam. 1-5. Here we go. And it is hit out to right field, or excuse me, to left field, but it's not going to do it. Jackie Bradley Jr. makes a running catch at the wall, and Strasburg finds his way out of the mess. Whew. It's a that's the first inning that Washington hasn't scored, and somehow Strasburg keeps them off the board. We move to the top of the 5th. It's a 4-0 ball game. Garrett Richards doing it on the mound and at the dish. He's got 2 hits, and here he will face the 5, 6, 7 batters. D. Scott Howard said he was a third baseman, so we got the whole infield covered, basically. We've got a first baseman with Jerry Ball. No, Jerry was our center fielder. Who was our first baseman? That was... who was our first baseman? I can't remember. We've got our second baseman in Ken Castro. We've got our third baseman in D. Scott Howard. And I can't remember who played first for us, but we had somebody over there. Troy Tulowitzki, he is grounded out to second his first time up. And here he will face Richards again. And he draws a leadoff walk. So Tulo is aboard. Tulo is an E stealer. He's not going anywhere. If he tried to steal, he probably would get hurt. And no, I'm not salty as a former Rocky, and I'm a Rocky fan. Al Red Sox fan was our first baseman. That's right. So Chase Utley with a man on first against the righty Richards. This is a strikeout. So Utley caught looking for the second time tonight. Now they're starting to add up for Richards. And Tulo still at first. Jackie Bradley Jr., he walked his first time. And the lefty will strike out this time. So Richards just moving along, striking people out at will. And now it'll be Martin Maldonado. He struck out his first time. A 4-9. He's going to single through the third base gap. And that will be a base hit. Tulo moves to second. Not going to try and advance. And so Strasburg. Will they let Strasburg hit here? Or will they go to the bench? Let's take a look at who was on the bench. That might help. No great options for Atlanta. Atlanta has Nori Aoki, Angel Pagan, Pete Cosma, Clint Barmas, Austin Hedges, and Bobby Wilson on the bench. You got 2 outs. The runners on first and second. Would they yank Strasburg to try and get a run here? You know, I guess it's worth a shot. Strasburg hasn't been all that effective, so they are going to pull him. And they're going to go to Nori Aoki. So Strasburg is out of the ball game. And Nori Aoki, with from the left-hand side, will pinch hit. He and his .353 on base percentage, looking to keep this thing rolling, maybe drive in a run. So Richards to face the lefty. It's a 3-2, and a 3-2 is going to be hit weakly over to first base. And Encarnacion scoops it up and tosses it to Richards, and that'll get him out of the inning. Aoki, the 3 column is pretty good for him, but he hit the one place that he couldn't, a 2. So that inning fizzles, and Atlanta continues to struggle and put no runs on the board. And now we have to find a new pitcher, as Strasburg has been pulled here in the bottom of the 5th. So they will go to, let me check the stats here real quick, because I know I've used Urena quite a bit. I want to just make sure. Urena has pitched 9 2/3 innings and given up 17 hits. So maybe we'll go with, let's see, where is the other option here? Mike Wright. That is what we're going to do. We're going to go to Mike Wright out of the bullpen. You can't go wrong with Mike Wright. And he will come in relief of Steven Strasburg. So let's write him down in our book. Strasburg goes 4 innings. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. 4 runs, all of them earned. All of them come with 2 outs as well. He struck out 6. And he walked 1. But his day is over. And we'll see if Mike has the right stuff here against the heart of the order, the 4, 5, 6 batters of Encarnacion, Granderson, and Perez. And this will be Encarnacion, who homered his last time up, and he's going to push one through the left side of the infield out into left field, and that'll be a leadoff single against Mike Wright. Encarnacion has himself a 2-hit ball game, firmly keeping Anthony Rizzo on the bench for now. Curtis Granderson, he's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. And this is a 3-8. He swung hard, but just underneath it. And this one is hit a mile high out to Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo camps underneath it, and he will eventually make the play as the ball finally comes back down from the stratosphere into his glove. Salvador Perez now, he's 0 for 2. The man on first is Encarnacion. He singled to lead off the inning. It's a 2-12, and this one is hit right back to right. Right wheels and fires it over to Utley. Utley over to Teixeira. It's a 1-for-3 double play that will end the inning. And Wright, I believe that's the first 1-2-3 inning for the Atlanta pitching staff. I mean, I guess he gave up a leadoff single, so do you still count that 1-2-3? I mean, I guess, right? He retired the first 3 batters in a row. Al Red Sox fan, it's the 6th inning, which is the Al Red Sox fans hitting the hay inning. Thanks for joining here, Al Red Sox fan. Make sure, and all you guys in the live chat know this, but Al Red Sox fan is awesome. Go subscribe to him and watch his videos. For those that are watching after the fact and you haven't checked him out yet, go do it. Al Red Sox fan. So here we will have Chase Headley leading off. He's struck out twice so far in the ball game. This is the 3rd time in the order through for Garrett Richards. He be as effective. Headley, this is a ballpark home run chance, a 1-4, and it's up and out. And that is just a fly ball out to left. And Ender Enciarte will make the catch. But an improvement from Headley, as he didn't strike out at least. That'll be Nick Markakis. He's hit 2 ground balls that haven't left the infield. And this will be a 3rd one. This one's to the second baseman, Kipnis. Kipnis charges on it. And sidearms one over to first, where that will be the 2nd out. And so Mark Teixeira comes up with nobody on again. He's 0 for 2 as well with a strikeout. And grounded out to first. Steps in from the left-hand side, and he gets one out of the infield. This one is hit to center. Granderson, though, will have an easy catch. And Richards has himself another 1-2-3 inning. Clean through the 6th as we move to the bottom half. Richards hasn't had himself much screen time. He's just his innings haven't been that long. We move to the bottom half. Washington faces, will send up, the 7, 8, 9 batters of Sano, Francoeur, and Richards. The bottom half of the order has done pretty well so far. They're 4 for 6 in their times against Strasburg. Here is Mike Wright, though, who took over last inning. He will continue, and he gives a walk up to Sano. So Sano didn't really like the Strasburg pitching. He struck out twice, and with the new pitcher, he walks. Francoeur, he hit a 2-run shot into the 9th in his first appearance in the 2nd inning. And here with a man on first, he gets the pitch. It's a 2-3. This is a ballpark single chance, and that's another hit for Francoeur. A 3-hit night for Frenchie. Sano is only going to make it to 2nd, but there's 2 on. Nobody out here. Mike Wright in a little bit of trouble now, but he's got the pitcher up. Garrett Richards has 2 hits on the ball game. It's a 5-7, and Richards is going to just stand there and look at strike 3, not wanting to get into a double play, and he just keeps the bat on his shoulder. That's the first out of the inning and the first strikeout for Mike Wright. So Enciarte is up with runners on first and second. He singled his last time. It's a 4-7, and he's going to single this time, and Sano gets the call to round third. He will round third and score. And so it's a RBI single for Enciarte as Sano scores from second. And it's a 5-0 ball game. Francoeur moves to third. And Enciarte has himself another RBI. That's 10 from the leadoff spot. So Wright may not have the stuff anymore. The problem for Atlanta, and if you can see here, is Urena hasn't been all that great. He's a long guy. Wright is getting hit right now. The only other righty we have in the bullpen is Pedro Villarreal. And then it's all lefties. So with Kipnis up, they could go to the lefty, but then they've got Correa and Encarnacion due up. So they're going to leave Wright for now. He's got runners on first and third, 1 out, trying to get the double play ball. They're keeping the infield back. It's a 4-10. This is a ballpark single chance. A 1-11. It'll be a single, and it is, so that'll drive home another run. Kipnis with a base hit. And he's got an RBI as Jeff Francoeur will score from third. And Kipnis, the top 4 batters in the order for Washington, all have an RBI. And now you've got trouble because Correa and Encarnacion are up. And they are going to have to go to Pedro Villarreal, as this one is getting a little bit out of hand. It's 6-0. Carlos Correa will face the new pitcher, Pedro Villarreal. They're going to their one righty out of the pen. Wright goes 1 1/3. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. He struck out 1 batter, and he walked 1 as well. Still responsible for 2 runners out there. One's at first and second. And now it's Correa with 1 out. Villarreal to face him. It's a 6-8, and he hits one hard, but right at Tulowitzki is short. Tulo up to the task, and that'll be a quick second out. Encarnacion now. He's 2 for 3. He's got a single, a homer, and run driven in. And this will be against Villarreal. This is a shortstop X chance. So Tulo has a chance to get him out of the inning. He is a 2-range shortstop. A 2-2 is not going to do it. That's going to be a single. It just sneaks past Tulo. He runs out to the outfield and grabs it himself. Encarnacion will make it to first. And the Enciarte, he does advance to third, and everybody is up a base. So that's the 3rd hit on the day for Encarnacion. Bases are juiced now, and it's Curtis Granderson at the plate, with Sal Perez and a string of right-handers behind Granderson. They're going to let Villarreal pitch to the lefty. Bases juiced, 2 outs. Granderson, he's 1 for 2. He's singled back in the second. He's also walked. And here against the righty, it's a 1-5, and he swings through the pitch. Thought he tipped it, but he didn't, and that'll be a strikeout. And that'll get Villarreal and Atlanta out of this 6th inning. But they put 2 more on the board. It's a 6-0 ball game as we move to the top of the 7th. And Garrett Richards is the story here, pitching very well. And he will face the 4, 5, 6 batters of Osuna, Tulowitzki, and Utley. It's a 1-6, and Ozuna lifts one out to left. Thought he had a hit, but Inciarte and his nice wheels able to track it down, and there's one away. Tulowitzki has reached on a walk, and he's also bounced out to shortstop. This is another walk for Tulo. So a 1-out walk puts Tulowitzki aboard. And we'll see if Atlanta can do anything with runners on base. Chase Utley has struck out twice. His first time's up against Richards. And he's going to hit one out to center. But the center fielder, Granderson, is going to have plenty of room out there. He calls off the right fielder, and he makes the grab. 2 outs now, and it's Jackie Bradley Jr. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And this will be a walk. Another walk for Bradley Jr. And the walk totals are starting to add up for Richards, as he walked Tulo, and now he's walked Jackie Bradley Jr. That's 4 walks on the ball game. 2 of them to Tulo, 2 of them to Bradley. So Martin Maldonado, who has the only hit of the ball game against Richards, comes up to the plate. It's a 4-3. This will be a bouncer back to Richards. Is he going to be able to make the play? He's a 4-range pitcher. A 4-1. Nope, it goes between his legs, and Maldonado has another base hit. That'll be just gets out of the infield, and they're only going to be able to move up 1 base. So the bases are juiced here. Maldonado's got a 2-hit ball game, and it'll be the pitch spot. So we will go to a pinch hitter. Yeah, we're going to have to, even though Villarreal is the only righty. Got to go to a pinch hitter here, and it will be Angel Pagan. So Angel Pagan will come on here in a big spot. Bases are loaded. Pagan has been really the go-to guy in clutch situations for pinch hits for Atlanta, and hasn't really delivered. That's what he's supposed to do, but he hasn't really. Pagan is 1 for 12 at the plate. He does have a homer. That's his 1 hit and 4 RBI. So maybe he can do the same here. Pagan to face Richards. It's the top of the 7th. It's a 6-0 ball game. Pagan could make it pretty close with 1 swing of the bat here. It's a 5-7, and he doesn't swing the bat. That'll be... Wait. Hold on. Richards' pitcher inning of weakness is the 6th. He's walked 2 and given up a single, so that triggers that. And I wasn't paying attention, but I am now. And that 7 has a to it, so that'll be a single. I believe it's a single 2-star. And let me double check that 1 sec. You guys probably know better than I do. Off the pitcher inning of weakness, when he is weak, it becomes a single 2-star, right? It just doesn't happen very often for me. I usually pull him out of the game. And so when It is a single 2-star. Okay. So Angel Pagan comes up big here with a single and 2 low scores. Jackie Bradley Jr. gets the waved around third, and he'll score. So Garrett Richards, his fatigue rating cost him there. Probably would have left him in anyway, just because he hadn't given up a run yet. And I like to give them the benefit of the doubt if they haven't given up a run yet. But it costs them, as Angel Pagan with an RBI single to drive in 2, and it's a 6-2 ball game now. So Pagan with his second hit of the season has got 2 more RBI. That's 6 on the season. And it'll be Chase Headley. And let's see. So let's check out the bullpen. The catcher, Sal Perez, goes and talks while we look at the bullpen. And they're not even going to mess around. They've got an excellent bullpen. They've got Wade Davis and Koji Uehara as their setup guys, and then Brad Boxberger as the closer. So they're going to just... They've got a 7, 8, 9 pitchers here, so they're going to go to the 7th inning guy, and that's Uehara. Uehara. Is it Uehara or Uehara? I say U for some reason. So they will go get him, and Garrett Richards' day is over. He pitched a gem, though, and he leaves with a 6-2 lead. Uehara takes over. Richards, he went 6 2/3 innings. He gave up 1, 2, 3 hits is all. He struck out 7 batters. And did he walk? He walked 4. He exits with the lead, and now we've got Uehara here in the top of the 7th. 2 runs have scored already. Men on first and third with 2 outs. And the new pitcher, Uehara, faces the lefty, Chase Headley. This one's hit back to Uehara. Will he be able to make the play? He is a 3-range pitcher. So a 314 is going to his E rating, which is a 0. So Uehara sticks his glove out, and hey, surprise, look what you found. And he's able to underhand it over to first. And 1 pitch, 1 out. Uehara gets out of the 7th. But Atlanta strikes, and they score 2 runs off of Garrett Richards to chase him from the ball game. And we have reached the 7th inning stretch. The book is closed on Richards. And go ahead and sing if that's your deal. If you like to sing at the old ball game. And now, Salvador Perez will face... It won't be Pedro Villarreal because we pinch hit, excuse me. It'll have to be... Well, you know what? We'll bring out Urena. If he struggles, then we'll pull him. But we've got a bunch of right-handers, so we'll go get Villarreal and bring out Urena. So Villarreal, he went 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 1 hit, no runs. Struck out 1 and didn't walk anybody. The book was closed on Mike Wright. He gave up 2 runs. Both of them earned. And now Jose Urena takes over to face Perez, Sano, and Francoeur. Perez is 0 for 3. And facing Urena, he bounces one to Tulo at short. Tulo takes an extra hop, taps his glove with the catcher running, and he'll still get him out by a country mile. Now it's Miguel Sano. Sano is 0 for 2, but he's reached on a walk as well. And this one is hit over to Tulo. he'll have a chance to make a play on it. A 211 is probably going to his E rating. Let's see. A 211 will be his E rating, which is a 12. Yes, a 12. So an E12, we rolled a 7. And too low is going to go deep into the hole and make a throw that bounces, and Teixeira will scoop it. And there's 2 away. So Jeff Francoeur now, he's been the big story of the game. 3 hits, 2 singles, and a homer. He's got a pair of RBI, and he will face Urena with the bases empty. And Jeff Francoeur throws out a fly ball out to right. That's going to drop, and that's a stand-up double, and a 4-hit ball game for Jeff Francoeur. Wow. A single, 2 singles, a double, and a homer. And now it's a laugher for Francoeur. Stands on second and just laughs at the dugout. And here we have the pitcher's spot. And we'll give Ike Davis an at-bat. So Ike Davis comes on to pinch hit for the pitcher Uehara. And the lefty Ike Davis comes on. He's only rated as a first baseman, so you can imagine being behind Encarnacion and Rizzo. He hasn't had many opportunities. But against the righty, Urena, Davis is going to have himself a hit. This one gets down and it'll bounce to the wall. Davis has himself a double and himself an RBI as Francoeur comes home to score. And it's a 7-2 ball game. Ike Davis with an RBI double. 4 hits for Jeff Francoeurs. I like that name, Jerry Ball, Jeff Francoeurs. And Urena is going to get the hook as the lefties are coming. The lefties are coming. And they will have to go and get him, and they'll bring out Brian Mattis. Jerry Ball's got another ASU Sun Devil. Ike Davis, I didn't know that. He's got himself a double and an RBI. Now, Brian Mattis comes out. So Urena didn't stop the bleeding. He goes 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 hits. He didn't strike out anybody, but he didn't walk anybody, so there's the bright side, right? All right, so Ender Enciarte, he's 2 for 4. Started out slow, but he's gained a few hits here. And this one's hit over to the third baseman. This will get Atlanta out of the inning. And the strong throw from Headley makes the play. And there's 3 outs. So Washington puts up another run here in the bottom of the 7th. And we move to the top of the 8th. It's a 7-2 ball game. Just when Atlanta looked like they had a little bit of momentum, the pitching lets them down again. And we will go back to the bullpen for Washington. Uehara did his job. And now we will... Actually, you know what? We're not going to bring out Wade Davis. We will go get... it will be Craig Breslow. Craig Breslow is going to come on. Getting a little work here to face Markakis, Teixeira, and Ozuna. So Breslow takes over for Uehara. Uehara, he went 1/3 of an inning. He only needed to get one guy, and he did. He got Richards out of the inning. Didn't give up anything else. No strikeouts, no walks, nada. So Breslow takes over, and he'll face the lefty Markakis, the switch hitter Teixeira, and then the righty Osuna. This is a 4-7, and of course, the lefty on lefty draws a walk. So Breslow walks the guy, and it'll be Teixeira. If Breslow runs into trouble, Wade Davis is ready in the bullpen. As I knock over my X chart on that roll. Got a little excited on that roll. I think it was because I said the name Wade Davis, and now he's a Rocky, so I just get excited. 2-11. This one is going to be a ballpark single chance for Teixeira. 1-17, and it's a single. It is. And so Teixeira with a base hit, and now Markakis is at second, and Teixeira at first. Marcell Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna against the lefty Craig Breslow. 2 on here, nobody out. Ozuna sees the pitch. It's a 3-5, and he swings through it, and that's a strikeout. So a good pitch for Breslow as he battles back after the first 2 men reach, and he gets a quick strikeout there to calm down the swell of momentum that was gaining for Atlanta. So Troy Tulowitzki, he's walked twice, and he's bounced out second. He's got runners at first and second against Craig Breslow, and this one is lifted out to right. No problem for Frank Couer, who can do no wrong today. And that's 2 outs. So Chase Utley will be the man at the plate, and I think they're going to pinch hit for Utley. They're going to pinch hit with Pete Kozma. Utley is 0 for 3 on the day, and they're going to get the righty. He'll play second as well. So Pete Kozma comes in to pinch hit, and he'll stay in the ball game. So Kozma couldn't do worse than Utley today. And it's a 5-12. This is a bouncer over to first base. Encarnacion is going to have to make a play. He is in first baseman with a 3 range. So a 1-3. This is a 9, which is going to go to his E rating, which is an E9. We rolled a 6. E9 with a 6. And Encarnacion gets down and dirty. He scoops one out of the dirt, and he will toss it over to Breslow, who's covering the plate, or covering the bag. And that is the 3rd out here. Kozma thought he had himself a hit down the line, but Encarnacion kind of just fell on it and smothered it. And we move to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 7-2 ball game. And it'll be Kipnis, Correa, and Encarnacion to face Brian Mattis. So they will face Brian Mattis. He will stay on here to face the lefty Kipnis. And a 1-12 is going to be hit softly over to the new second baseman. Of course, the new guy on the field gets a chance right off the bat. And that'll be the 1st out. So it's Carlos Correa. And if they had a righty in the bullpen, they would go get him. But they don't, so they're just going to have to keep going with Mattis. Not a great matchup against the strong hitting shortstop. And it's a 1-11, and he hits one to first. And Teixeira has a little bit of trouble with it. It's going to be a close play. Mattis is covering the bag, but it will get him. Correa is out at first. A closer play than Teixeira would have liked it. Kind of had a problem getting it from the ground to his glove, but he's able to make the strong throw over to Mattis, who was covering. And there's 2 outs. Mattis now to face Encarnacion, who's 3 for 4 on the day. And will he make it 4 hits? Yes, he will. He hits one back through the left field side. And that's 4 straight hits now for Encarnacion. It will be Curtis Granderson, or will it? Granderson is the center fielder. I think they're going to go. They're going to pinch hit with Justin Maxwell. So Granderson's day is done, and Justin Maxwell will take over in center field. He'll pinch hit here. And take over, getting some extra at-bats for some players. Granderson only was one, had a single his first chance, but now it is Justin Maxwell. This is a 3-5, and Maxwell gets caught looking. That is the 3rd out of the inning. That's the first strikeout for Mattis, and didn't pitch all that ineffectively against those righties. We're through 8. Still 7-2 with Atlanta's last chance here to score some runs and keep this game going. Breslow will come off, and they will get, who are they going to bring out of the bullpen? How about, excuse me, Zach Godley. Excuse me. Zach Godley will come on to take over for Craig Breslow. The righty, Godley, excuse me. Breslow went an inning, gave up 1 hit, no run, struck out 1, and he walked 1. So Godley to face Bradley Jr., Maldonado, and then probably a pinch hitter. Jerry Ball giving us all the history of the Scottsdale, Arizona High School, Chaparral High School. This is a 1-6, and Jackie Bradley strikes out against the new pitcher, Godley. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And dejected and defeated. They scored 2 runs against Richard, but that's been about all. He was a little bit fatigued. And Maldonado sees a pitch and gets caught looking. 2 straight strikeouts for Zach Godley. And it'll be a pinch hitter. And it will be Clint Barmas to pinch hit. Former Rocky. Pinch hitting here in the 9th. Nobody on, 2 outs. Clint Barmas looking to keep the game rolling against Zach Godley. A 1-5, and he'll have a single. It's a 12, and so he hits one to the shortstop, Correa. Correa's got it firmly in his glove and will make the strong throw to first. And that'll be the ball game. So Washington has won their 4th straight game. This time it's against a team that was playing pretty well. 9-5 was Atlanta. They dropped to 9-6, and Washington, after winning their 4th now in a row, have moved to a game above 500. 8-7 for Washington. And they are creeping closer and closer to the top of the standings, are Washington. A great pitched game from Garrett Richards. He goes 6 2/3, only giving up 2 runs, 3 hits, with 7 strikeouts. And I'd be interested to know who you guys' player of the game was. You had Jeff Francoeur with 4 hits, 4 for 4, with a homer and 2 RBIs. You had Encarnacion with 4 hits, 3 singles and a homer with an RBI. And you had Richards, who went 6 2/3 strong. Those are 3 good candidates. Before you leave, make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And also, I want to know who your player of the game is. So before you check out, please do that. And before I check out, I'm going to do these stats. But I got to say thank you to everybody that was in the live chat tonight. You guys were rolling. That was Jerry Ball, Ken Castro, Al Red Sox fan. We had D. Scott Howard checking in. Anybody else that I missed? Ken Castro. You guys were awesome, man, and you make it fun because, you know, I would be doing this anyway in the basement, and my wife would still think I was crazy. At least now she knows that other people are crazy as well and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. You guys are fun. Jeff Francoeurs gets the MVP nod from Ken Castro, from Jerry Ball, from D. Scott Howard as well. It's a unanimous choice. Jeff Francoeur is your player of the game from the 8th spot in the order of Washington. He throws out 4 hits with 2 RBIs, a big 2-out hit in the 2nd inning to drive home Granderson, and that will do it. So I'm going to finish the scoreboard offline, and I'll post it on my Twitter channel over here at RNGIDP_strat. If you're interested to give it a look, go for it. And so that'll do it for me tonight. This has been real fun. I just really enjoy this community. I know that I was watching Earl earlier today, Tabletop Earl. Well, that doesn't break it down, does it? Tenacious Earl. And I've been enjoying watching his Phillies replay, and it's coming down to it. Hopefully he plays a game online tomorrow. I'll be in that chat. And if you are, I'll see you then. So until next time, our next game will be Chicago against San Francisco. The Cub Chew with Shelby Miller on the mound. They are missing, though, Yasiel Puig and Josh Harrison from the lineup. And they'll be facing Giratina's Jordan Zimmerman. So Jordan Zimmerman goes for San Francisco and Shelby Miller for Chicago. And that should be a good matchup. And we'll probably do that one tomorrow night, but we'll stay tuned to the Twitter channel, and I'll let you know. So until then, thank you. You have my much appreciated thanks, and have a good night, guys.